Mr. Coffee, bring me a cup. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, I'm out of lyrics. Hey, it's too early in the morning. It's about 7, actually. It's not as early as I thought. The things I do for the 2Ube. Here we are. This is my coffee pot. It is well used, well abused. It's been around. The carafe is perfectly fine. I have it upstairs. I just didn't bring it down to avoid the potential of having a fan twerp break the carafe and not tell anybody about it. So because of that, I just decided to bring this down because I didn't want to focus on the operation of it just yet. I wanted to focus on a couple of things. First off, like I said, it's well used. It's got coffee stains around everything. You put the water in the back. Over there, the burner plate over here has marks on it from where the coffee pot sits and more junk around it. And it's just, this is what happens when 2004 to 5 turns into almost 2023. This is a 10-cup Mr. Coffee coffee pot. And it has information. It says Sunbeam Products. I'll show this to you in a minute. Boca Raton, Florida 33431, model ESX10. 900 watts, 120 volts, AC 60 hertz, made in China. I don't know what you're going to read, how you're going to read, but that's exactly what it says. Oh, did you notice something? Yeah. You can't open it. Oh, actually, you can. I made a video back in 2014 called Non-Replaceable Parts Are, in fact, Replaceable. We're going to get into that in a second. I want to tell you the story of this coffee pot and how it came to be. Whiff and I got married in 2005. About a year before, so 2004-ish, or maybe in 2005, but earlier in the year, I can't remember exactly, the Whiff had a bridal shower. I was there. That's people are like, oh, the groom is not supposed to be there. Well, fuck you and your old school principles. I had a reason for being there to basically oversee the party because Doo-Doo was hosting this, which means it would have been a fucking disaster. So it was basically me running the show. We had everybody in her backyard, and we had it catered and shit like that. And people brought gifts. And one of the gifts was, in fact, you know, there's an old video of that that I think was recorded on a VHS-C tape, and I don't have that. I don't have that tape. But, yeah, it was recorded. Anyhow, this was given to us as a bridal shower gift in 2004 to 2005. It sat at Doo-Doo's house until we got married, and then that was in 05, and then in 06 we bought the house, and we were here in July of 2006, and we started bringing over a lot of things because we got this, and we got like a food processor, and we got a can opener, and we got a this, and we got a that, and all that kind of stuff. So this was the coffee pot. And it was very soon after we moved in, and the Whiff happened to mention it or something. I had, of course, had a few lovely beverages at that point, but it was getting later in the night, and I kind of had dropped off of that. We decided to set up our coffee pot because we had just moved in. So we took it out of the box for the first time, and because I looked at the box, which I no longer have, of course, and here's the display. It's got a clock built in, as you might expect. And the display showed that the box showed that display lit up in red. I will plug it in, and you will see that indeed it lights up in red. Let me zoom in on that. Yep, there you go. A red LED display. Not a backlit LCD, but a real LED display. In fact, I'll set it just for shits and grins because it's easy. And it's only 706, so there you go. And that's all fine and good. You can set a delay. You hold the set delay, and then you could set the time. And then you'd press the delay brew, and that lights up there. And whatever. And then you can turn it on, turn it off. So it's on, has a red light. It's off, and it shuts off. And that's it. But I remember being like somewhat knackered and say, whoa! You mean we could have a red fucking clock on the counter? Oh, we gotta set that up now. So we set it up. Let's make coffee. Let's make coffee. It's like 10 p.m. We didn't have any coffee to make, so we had to run out and find like a grocery store that was open till all hours, and we got coffee, and we made coffee for the first time, and it was pretty cool. And that is already just warm because just for the short time it was there. But yeah, this appears way brighter on camera than it does in real life. Turning it off and killing the orange light. Yep. It's not very bright. In the dark like that, yeah, oh, you can read it. It's worn. If I go and set the... You can actually tell. You can see how much brighter the one is than the rest. Just like that. Because, like I said, this thing has been plugged in since 2006. And that's pretty much it. Let's back out. So, like I said, it's a 10 cup. Your water goes in there. Your coffee goes in here. It has the basket that comes out. Like that. There's the basket. It has the pause and serve feature right here, as you might expect. It's been around, well used. It's your basic coffee pot. And the coffee pots today do not have the awesomeness that this does because of its red LED display that won't even fit in the frame where the camera is there. It does not have the awesomeness of this. There are a couple like that, but a lot of them are like a blue backlit LCD. Nah, you know. But let me show you the bottom in those screws. So you got these kibbles and bits and bits and bits.
It better be bits. It better be bits.
Oh, yeah, it's bits, Mike. It's bits, I tell you. It's bits. It's bits.
It better be bits.
Oh, it's bits, I tell you. Oh, boy. It's bits. It's bits. It's bits.
It better be kibbles and bits and bits and bits, because dogs love crunchy kibbles with chewy bits. All kinds of bits. For a one-of-a-kind taste, dogs just gotta have.
It better be bits.
Kibbles and bits and bits and bits.
What I tell you, Spike? See? It's bits. Oh, boy. It's bits.
It's the bits that make it better.
In here. See, like that? This is a security bit set. This, interestingly, I just realized now, after all these years, I actually bought this at Tiny Middle. We used to sell it because we sold Performance Tool brand stuff. Harbor Freight has the identical kit with a red case instead of a blue case like that. The screws, like I showed before, are fucking weird. But look at that. I have a bit that will fit. Let's see if I could zoom in on that. I'll just slide you over a little bit. Well, I saw it before. There it is. The bit that will fit. Take a bit that will fit to a pot that is old. It will brew up coffee, lattes, cappuccino, and stuff. Da, 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 da.
Down at our rendezvous, Three's Company too.
There you go. There's, I'll take the screws out for no reason other than to take the screws out because there's really nothing to see. Except for how well built it actually was. Okay, that one is the same type screw. This one comes out. I still gotta show you, I gotta make sure I can put this back together so it works. So there's that problem. And this one is the same type of screw, might be smaller. Smaller head. No, it'll fit. This screwdriver with the yellow handle has been around since I used to carry this in my old Chevy. So I've owned this screwdriver for like 20 some odd years. Yeah, got a couple little spills in there, but not too bad. See? Not too bad. But look how well laid out that actually is. Let's zoom you out. There. Your hot plate, heating element built in, the tubes. This is from the reservoir, and that goes up to the shower, I believe. It sure looks like. There's a transformer tucked in there, I guess to run the electronics, which are up there. And that's on a nice circuit board, all connected nice. Everything is just, it's well designed and laid out. And, all around pretty good. It makes a damn fine cup of coffee. And the cord, if you can see here, will, it has a recess in the back, so you can like shove the cord in there if you don't need it as long. Otherwise, there it is. That is the Mr. Coffee coffee pot model, back around here, ES2110. No, I'm sorry, ESX10. I was reading the UL file number. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna wipe that down. I'll put this back together, and when you I'll meet you up in the kitchen somewhere. So head up there. I'll be there in a couple of minutes. Oh yeah, this is a video. So we got some coffee cated in there. This is supposed to use the cone type filters. Melita usually makes them. So I said, fuck that, and I use these cup ones that I get from Aldi for like $1. Well, it used to be like $1.19. Now it's about $7.89 because inflation. And coffee-cated, and that's in there. I double filter it because one doesn't really work because they're really cheap. But they're still a lot cheaper than the Melita filters, so there you go. So there's that. This is the carafe. Like I said, this coffee pot is well used. It's got coffee stains that you can't remove. It's 10 cups, like I said, so we'll go ahead and pour in the Wawa. Incidentally, do you always spill the coffee out of your coffee pot if you have something like this? You know what the trick is? Don't pour it so fast, you fucking whore! That's what the problem is. When you pour fast, you will spill. If you pour slowly, like this, you will not spill. And yeah, it's a pain in the ass because you got to sit there and wait, but it adds to the excitement of your morning cup of coffee. Pouring the water slowly, or pouring the coffee out of the pot, more accurately. So there is that. I don't know if you can see because I can't see the screen on the camera. There is a little slot in the back, so if you put too much water, it'll just spill on your counter. That goes down. This is a little damp, so it'll snizzle a bit, but that goes right in. And we're going to go ahead and turn it on. And it's going to actually, you know, it makes coffee. So we'll do that. Yeah, the tripod is a little bouncy because it's a Litland and it's really tall. Oh, we're starting to drip. I'll put the camera back down like so you can see in there, so we'll do that. The worst thing about waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Oh, what that aroma can do, brighter day for me and you. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
That's why I don't drink Folgers. And as far as Maxwell House, Maxwell Smart. I got you, Chief. No problem.
Well, that's funny. Feels real, looks real. It's even got a picture of President Goldwater on it.
Thanks. Goldwater lost the election by 17 million votes.
Oh, yes, I remember now. Missed it by that much.
Nobody's going to get these references. This is terrible how old I am. Okay, great. So we're making coffee, and it's going. And yeah, that's that. It makes coffee like that. I'll come back when it's like done, so you can hear what it sounds like when it's done, because there's probably coffee pot twerps, and you never know these days. Unfortunately, you can't fill it to the rim with brim, because they don't make that anymore.
Whoa!
Only half a cup? I thought you loved coffee.
I love the rich taste. It's the caffeine I can do without.
Me too. That's why we're drinking Brim decaffeinated coffee.
This is brim?
This is Brim, and it's decaffeinated, so you don't have to stop at half a cup.
If it tastes this rich, I don't want to stop. Fill it to the rim.
With Brim?
Fill your cup to the rim with the richness of Brim.
Brim was coffee that I never drank because it was a little before my time, although not exactly. It was around into when I was a kid. But the cans, if you look up vintage cans of Brim coffee, it was like full-on 1970s colors. The can was brown, and the 4 letters of Brim were like orange and harvest gold and avocado green and all. I mean, it was totally 1970s. The Coffeecated that I am using is the Aldi French vanilla artificially flavored ground coffee Aldi coffee from Aldi. We like it. This is French Vanilla Day. Just, you know, we have hazelnut and we have like regular and, you know, a bunch of others and stuff. And pause and serve. Oh, don't mind if I do. Yeah, it'll drip once or twice. I mean, that happens. But, yeah, you can pause and serve, and there you go. It's making coffee. I know there's going to be coffee fiends out there who are going to say, oh my God, how could you drink that? Pre-ground coffee? I grind my own. Mr. Coffee, OMG, like, just go to Starbucks. And there's going to be the other type that says, oh yes, you see, I don't use these type things. No. I use a French press, you see, and you have to French press the coffee, yes. And that gives the best tasting coffee ever, even though that's not really a French accent. So there's coffee fiends out there. Listen, this is the typical Americana, Mr. fucking Coffee. That's what you get. Is it bad? No, it actually makes a really good cup of coffee, like I said before. It just is. And it's just been around, and it's awesome that it has the red LED display that I showed you before. And it's actually still making coffee right now. And, I mean, it's just a wonderful thing like that. It sits, it works, it does its thing. We've run a pot, filled everybody up, put a second pot on right after, had no trouble with that. Just fucking brews away. There you go. And that's that. And I will come back once the Coffeecated is almost done. I also found that, of course, you don't get, if you put 10 cups in, you don't get 10 cups. First of all, whoever invented cups of coffee, they're all different. You know, like a cup is 5 ounces. No, it's actually 3. No, actually it's 7. What? Who, you know, depending on who you ask, nobody can tell you what a cup of coffee actually constitutes, and you don't get 6 cups of coffee, 8 cups of coffee, 10 cups of coffee. You get half of that, if you're lucky, maybe, because here in the U.S., we have your this one is actually just a little bigger, but you have your standard mug. That is not a cup of coffee at all. That is larger than what a cup of coffee is supposed to be. So I don't know who invented this shit or who came up with it or why there's rules in that. I mean, it's coffee, people. You need to drink it, and that's that. Then you go to Dunkin' and you get your... There it is. Kind of gassy today. Yeah, that's it. So like I said, you don't get 10 cups because the coffee grounds like a cup for themselves because they did all the work here. And Mr. Coffee, he's just the middleman. But then you go to Dunkin' and you get a fucking extra large that's like this fucking big. And how many cups of coffee is that? I don't know. Oh, I gotta get a second one. It's a really bad day. Anyway, that's still drippulating, so we'll leave that. And with that, I will pour a cup of coffee for me, have that, maybe a boogle, and I think that's going to do it. So, thank you very kindly for watching this video on my Mr. Coffee coffee pot that is not quite vintage yet, but we are sure getting there. So in a few short years, because this was 06, so this is 16 years old? 15? 16? 16. Yeah, it's getting there. It's certainly not vintage by any means, but it's one day it'll get there. And, you know, as long as the carafe doesn't break, I'm all set. And if it does, I'm sure I could find a replacement pretty easily. This runs for 2 hours, as you might expect, and will then shut off automatically. After 2 hours it just shuts off, or you can shut it off manually. And then of course you can turn it back on to keep it hot, because the plate keeps it hot. And although Technology Connections says that destroys your entire pot of coffee like that quick and reheat it in the microwave, he's a fucking weirdo, we know this. But in doing that, shutting it off, turning it back on, it reset the 2 hour timer. But whatever, I shut it off when I'm done with coffee in the morning anyway. That's going to do it. I thank you so kindly for watching and spending your morning with me, even though it might be afternoon, evening, maybe even in the overnight. Probably it's time for some coffee now. Anyway, thanks once again for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
every day I wake up, pour myself a cup of that rich Folgers aroma. The best part of waking up, it's the do-up in all I do. The mountain grown aroma always coming through, always coming through. Oh, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Now I'm right in harmony with that do-up ditty. Whoa, one more cup and it's a hoo-up shabop for me. Oh,